Can I ask you, Mr. Rose, first of all, because I know that you were the one who told us about this, and I'm sure you will speak on behalf of all your colleagues. When you come back up here after 50 years, what are your thoughts to start with?
Thoughts. It is rather difficult to put it into single words. It's such a mixture. One goes back 50 years. That is a terrific wrench when you consider all that's happened in the meantime. But yeah, I imagine the years are swept away. I can imagine myself, that young spring-heeled lad, bounding up through here, bounding up these steps behind me, up onto the guns. Yes, they're the sort of thoughts that go through my mind.
And I noticed Mr. Bartlett smiled. I know he smiled there. You obviously have the same sort of feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Can you see yourself zipping up that hill?
Certainly. I didn't nip up on the command post, definitely not. But definitely I've got a number 4 gun. Definitely.
When you look back on them now, and I don't know how much, because you were teenagers at the time, most of you, were you here reluctantly? Were you here happily defending your country? What were your thoughts about what you were here to do at the time?
We were here because you remember we were young people. We read newspapers. We'd been told that all that was happening in Germany, and we were also brought up in our younger formative years, when we were very young, by the stories of the First World War. So we were under no illusions about what war was about. There was no jingoistic touch with us. We were there to fight an evil, and that is why we volunteered for the armed services, in spite of trying to earn a living out in the civilian world. So therefore we welcomed the war, because we knew that as soon as we defeated Hitler, then the world would then be free. That's the way I saw it, and I feel sure I speak for the rest of my comments.
Well, they seem to have been nodding generally. Miss Halsey, can I ask you, is that the way you think of it as well?
Not quite really. I mean, I was only 17. I wasn't really clear about what was going on in the world. I hadn't long left school, and I joined the Territorials just to get comradeship, I suppose, and then when we were called up, yes, I was all ready to go, and I was itching to get into it.
But not really knowing, as it were, what it was all about in those days?
Not completely, no.
I imagine that...
I think that a lot of us, firstly, I always wanted to join the services, but I left school. I wanted to be in the Army, Navy, Air Force. Mum said no, no, no. And I think a lot of us got round it by joining the TA. And I think that's why a lot of us turned up here.
Yes.
I think, being local boys at them time, when you left the school, you either went to dockyards, Schultz, in the services. A lot of us wanted to be in the services. For some reason we didn't. So the second best thing was join the TA.
The one thing you must remember, I want to point out to you, Lloyd, and that is that quite a lot of the people up in here were in reserved occupations.
Oh yeah,
they were all asked if they wanted to go back into civilian life, because they were, as I say, they were in a reserved occupation.
And they stayed?
But no, we refused, because we knew we were trained gunners, and this is where we were needed most.
Right.